feel like my framing is off slightly today. So if I'm crooked or if this just like looks a little funky, apologies. I cannot figure out how I used to frame this. I don't know if I scooted my like little bench here or what, but it feels a little off balance today. Could also be that the orchid died. Hey everyone, Marissa here and welcome back to another video. Today I thought we could do a TBR video, which is something I have not done in ages. I actually stopped doing TBR videos on my channel a while ago because I kind of realized that I was getting like that satisfaction that I would normally get from reading a book, I was actually getting purely from talking about a book in a TBR video. And rather than encouraging me to read said books, it was almost a guarantee that if I talked about a book in a TBR video, I would not then turn around and actually pick it up and read the book. Weird, I know, but that is something that I realized about myself like several years ago, and so I kind of cut out TBR videos. However, what I have continued to do for myself is keep like a little stack on my nightstand, which I kind of consider my informal, non-official current TBR. I kind of like go through every month or so and like pull things out if I haven't read them, or like, you know, add more things to the stack, that sort of thing. So I was going through my December nightstand stack, if you will, and realized that I have quite a few things here that I am actually really going to make an effort to read this month before the end of the year. So I thought I would just throw them in a video. A few caveats before we get into the actual books. Number one, as I just mentioned, I'm not historically great about TBR videos, so this does not guarantee that I will be reading these books, but that they are things that I'm genuinely hoping to read. Number two would be that obviously this is a completely overly ambitious TBR for the last month of the year, given the reading that I've been doing the rest of this year. However, again, I am kind of really in a reading mood right now, so I'm hoping to kind of ride that wave through the end of the year and get a little bit closer to completing my 2024 reading goal, which was 24 books, I believe. At this point in time, like as of the day I'm filming this, I'm sitting at 10 books read. So I'm just hoping we can like squeak a little bit closer to the 24. Also, I guess I should say I've had coffee for the first time in a month. So potentially I could be very chatty. The first category of books I have is things that I'm currently reading that I would like to finish in the month of December. The first of which is my current audiobook listen, which is Benjamin Franklin, An American Life by Walter Isaacson. Now, I picked this up for Nonfiction November. This is a biography of Benjamin Franklin, and it is also kind of my pre-reading to my presidential biography challenge, which we will talk about later in this video. This is basically exactly what it sounds. It's a very traditional biography of Benjamin Franklin, not focusing, I would say, on one thing over the other. It's a very good blend of like his personal and professional life. I will say that there's a little bit too much focus on his intimate urges. I don't know what I can say on YouTube without getting in trouble. It focuses a lot on his intimate relationships with young ladies specifically, and I feel like I could stand to know less about that, quite frankly, but this seems to be one of those like defining character features that Walter Isaacson seems to feel the need to focus a lot on. Making my way through this, I think I have about 5 hours left in the audiobook, so I'm hoping I can finish that this week. It's definitely enjoyable. It's one of those audiobooks where some of the information is so outside of the realm of what I would think of when I think of Benjamin Franklin that I was literally caught by a coworker the other day sitting at my desk going, what? So yeah, I can do a full review at the end of the month if you guys are interested. But that is the audiobook I'm hoping to finish in December. I also have a couple of ebooks on the go right now. The first of which is How Do You Live by Genzaburo Yoshino. This is a book that I started, I want to say either December of 2023 or January of 2024 this year, which I just have not finished. And I'm fearing that I'm going to need to go back and start from the beginning. I would actually really love to finish How Do You Live and then rewatch the Hayao Miyazaki film, The Boy and the Heron, and get a review up before the end of the year, because that was something I was trying to do last year and didn't make it. So if you get one more video from me this year, it might be a Boy and the Heron review. But this book is one of Miyazaki's inspirations for the film. It also is featured in the film itself. So this is, I think, something I definitely would want to read in preparation specifically for that Miyazaki video. So we'll see. But I think I should be able to finish this. I just need to like sit down and focus on it. The other ebook that I have on the go right now is something I will 100% be able to finish this week because it is just a manga volume. It's a little bit longer because it is a combined volume 8, 9, 10 from the series Mushishi by Yuki Urushibara. This is a series I talked about previously on the channel this year, actually. It is a beautiful historical kind of folklore and fantasy inspired manga series set in historical Japan. And I have literally been dragging this series out all year because it is just one of my all-time favorites. It is beautiful. The artwork, even on a Kindle, is just stunning. And I will be really, really, really sad when I have finished this because this is it. This is the end of the series. I'm dog sitting this week actually and bringing my Kindle with me. So I think that'll probably be the first thing finished this week, probably even before Ben Franklin, if I'm being honest. And then I do have one physical book that I'm currently reading, which I would love to again finish this December, and that is The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Now, this was a kind of a random fall pickup for me because I personally find Nathaniel Hawthorne's writing to be very cozy, fall, spooky vibes. I think mainly because he was writing a lot about like Puritan fears and the devil and like the concern about man's inherent badness, man's inherent sinful quality, and I just find his stuff perfect for fall. I typically reread a few of his short stories every fall, but this year I thought, wait, you know what? I should just go ahead and pick up The Scarlet Letter because now I have a copy and I somehow made it all the way through a lit degree in college and never had to read it. So I felt like I kind of needed to fill that hole in my American literary knowledge, if that makes sense. I will say this is a beautiful copy from Signet Classics. This is obviously someone's, like, I got this at a library sale. This is obviously very pre-loved. It's all like stained and tattered, and I literally had to tape the cover back on because I started reading it and it just fell off. But I am about 5 chapters in at the moment and thoroughly enjoying it, so I would love to read this again. This is a nice little short book, so hopefully I can finish this in December as well. So those are the 4 books that I will be prioritizing this month. If that's all I finish, I will be very happy and it will be like a great success. However, because this is an unrealistic TBR, there are several things that I would also like to attempt to read this month. So we'll see how this goes. So I've mentioned wanting to jump into my presidential biography challenge for a while now, and I will go over the specifics of that in a completely separate video because I have somehow ballooned this challenge into something that is going to take me probably years to get through. In the interest of just getting the ball rolling, I have really wanted to start George Washington this year. Now, I am by no means so delusional to think that I will finish this biography in December. So my goal for this book in particular is that I would just like to start reading it. So if I pick this up on December 31st and I read a chapter, I will consider that ticked off, like job done. The biography of George Washington that I'm planning to read is the Washington, A Life biography by Ron Chernow. This is the Pulitzer winner, so I felt like this was a really great option to go with. There are so many biographies of the president, so part of the challenge will just be picking a good biography. But I previously attempted this and then realized that I wanted to, again, balloon the challenge into something bigger. So I would love to just read a chapter of this in December. If I could get through more, obviously that would be great, but we are just attempting to start this book in December. The other 2 books here that are like would love to read type books are books that provide some kind of historical context going into George Washington. That's also why I decided to read the Ben Franklin biography. So if I finish Ben Franklin, then the next biography I would like to read in preparation for George Washington would be Ron Chernow's other biography about Alexander Hamilton, which of course inspired the Hamilton musical. I believe that is quite a long biography, so I'm not 100% convinced that I will be able to finish that in December. And if it's feeling like I need to overlap the 2 biographies, Alexander Hamilton and Washington, A Life, I will do that. But ideally I would like read all of Hamilton and then jump into Washington. And then because I realized that all of my cultural context reads leading up to George Washington were about men, I did pick up a book from the library entitled Revolutionary Mothers, Women in the Struggle for America's Independence by Carol Birkin. This is also, it's not that long. It's like 170-ish, 60-ish pages. So in theory, doable. It's just if I can make myself sit down to read. So that's why we're doing this video. So Alexander Hamilton and Revolutionary Mothers, I would love to read in December. Washington, I would just like to start. And then the last book I have here, because again, unrealistic TBR, shoot for the stars. If I have any extra time in December, or if I'm craving a novel, because most of this is actually nonfiction, I would love to read A Mercy by Toni Morrison. Now, I believe I actually read this before. I do have annotations throughout here, and I cannot honestly remember if I read this in college or for AP English in high school, but I do have notations in here, meaning I at least discussed it in class, if not hopefully read it myself, but I genuinely don't remember a single thing about this. And for some reason the other week I was kind of going through my shelves, again, pulling things out to add to my stack on the nightstand, and for some reason was like, you know what, I kind of feel like reading this right now. So this is not priority, obviously, because it is not something that I'm currently in the middle of. It's also not helping me get closer to George Washington in the biography challenge, but for some reason have like a real hankering to read this. So that is everything that I'm hoping to read in December 2024. Do I think I will actually get to all of these? Honestly, probably not. Do I think I will get distracted by other books? Highly possible. Do I think I will not read it all and just get looped into like some binge watching of shows and things over my upcoming Christmas break? That is also probably possible. Who knows, if I make it through this TBR, or at least a good portion of this TBR, maybe we'll bring back the TBR video. Maybe we'll start doing like quarterly TBRs or something like that. That could be fun, because I am trying to think of some more like consistent video ideas for next year that will get me making at least a video a quarter. That would be, you know, mostly realistic goal. So I hope you all found this interesting, and I would love to know if there's any books that you're trying to finish up by the end of the year. I know generally speaking, the traditional wisdom here when attempting to finish off your year strong is read a bunch of short books. But apparently that's just not where my mind went this year. So let me know, are you finishing things off? Are you starting a bunch of new short books? Are you close to your reading goal, or have you kind of given up entirely? I am aiming for minimum the halfway mark because I feel like that is fairly doable. With that in mind, I hope you are all having a fantastic day. Thank you so very much for watching, and happy December, everyone. Bye.